This is a finance niche client project edited by Mustaqeem Irfan. Let's begin.
Did you know that some of the things you've always believed about your body might be totally wrong? For example, do you think that chewing gum stays in your stomach for 7 years? Or that bulls are angry because they hate the color red? If you said yes to any of these, then you're not alone. These are some of the craziest myths about our bodies that we've all grown up hearing. But guess what? They are all just misconceptions. In this video, we're going to dive into 5 weird body myths that everyone believes and debunk them one by one. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be looking at these myths with a whole new perspective. 1. You lose most heat from your head. Let's start with a big one. You lose most of your body heat through your head. If you've ever gone out into the cold and bundled up with a hat, you've probably heard this myth. It sounds reasonable, right? After all, your head is at the top of your body and exposed to the air. But the reality is that heat loss doesn't happen just from your head. This myth was first popularized in the 1950s by a military experiment, where researchers found that people lost more heat through their heads when they were covered in cold weather gear. However, it wasn't because the head is special, it was because the rest of the body was covered, leaving the head as the only exposed area. In fact, heat loss happens evenly across your body depending on how much skin is exposed to the environment. If you leave your hands or feet uncovered, you'll lose heat from them too. The key to staying warm in winter is layering your clothing properly, not just focusing on your head. So next time you go outside in the cold, remember, covering up your body is just as important as wearing a warm hat. It's also important to note that your body tries to regulate temperature and maintain internal balance, known as homeostasis. Even if you're covered head to toe in clothing, your body works to maintain an ideal internal temperature, so it's essential to focus on full body warmth. And while your head is a large area of your body, it's the entire surface area that matters for retaining heat. 2. The 5-second rule works. Up next, the 5-second rule. We've all dropped food on the floor and thought, it's okay, I can still eat it. It's only been on the ground for 5 seconds. This myth is so common that it has become a go-to excuse for eating food that's fallen. But the reality? The 5-second rule doesn't hold up under science. Germs and bacteria don't care how long food has been on the floor. The moment food hits the ground, it can start picking up bacteria, especially if the surface is dirty. Some studies have shown that food can pick up bacteria within milliseconds of hitting the ground, regardless of how much time passes. The amount of bacteria also depends on the type of surface the food falls on. For example, food that falls on a carpet may pick up fewer bacteria than food dropped on a public restroom floor. While the 5-second rule is a fun concept, it's important to be aware of the environment around you. Bacteria from surfaces can transfer to food immediately, so eating food that's been on the floor is a gamble at best. Even in your own home, the floors can harbor germs, so it's always better to play it safe. Instead of using the 5-second rule as a reason to eat fallen food, it's always best to keep it off the ground and prevent germs from contaminating your snacks in the first place. 3. Hair and nails keep growing after death. Here's another classic. Hair and nails continue to grow after death. You've probably heard people say that when someone dies, their hair and nails keep growing. It's one of those spooky myths that has been passed down for generations, often adding to the eerie feeling of death. But in reality, this is a myth. After death, the body starts to dehydrate, which causes the skin to shrink. As the skin shrinks, it can give the appearance that hair and nails have grown, but they actually haven't. The cells that produce hair and nails are no longer active after death, so there's no way for them to grow. It's the shrinking of the skin that causes the illusion of growth. In fact, hair and nails do not grow after death at all. This myth likely originated because of the way hair and nails look in the first few days after death. As the body decomposes, it changes shape, and that might explain why some people mistakenly believe hair continues to grow. Additionally, this myth may have been fueled by the unsettling appearance of the deceased's body and how it can seem as though small physical changes are occurring. When someone dies, the decomposition process begins immediately. The body goes through several stages, which cause the skin to wrinkle, the tissues to break down, and yes, the hair and nails to look longer as the skin shrinks. But rest assured, it's just an illusion that doesn't actually involve any growth. 4. Bulls hate the color red. Now for a fun one. Bulls hate the color red. This one is popular, especially if you've ever seen a bullfight in Spain, where the matador waves a red cloth to provoke the bull. The myth is that bulls are angered by the color red. But here's the truth. Bulls are actually colorblind to red. What really irritates a bull is the movement of the cloth, not the color. Bulls, like most cattle, are colorblind to red and see everything in shades of gray, yellow, and blue. They react to the matador's movements and the flapping of the cloth rather than the color itself. The use of red cloth in bullfighting is simply traditional and has no special effect on the bull's behavior. This myth may have been perpetuated by the dramatic and colorful nature of bullfights, where the red cloth stands out. So, if you're ever faced with a bull, it's not the color you need to worry about, it's the flapping motion that gets them riled up. The real reason behind the bull's reaction is its instinctual response to movement, rather than anything related to color. Interestingly, bulls and other cattle are not particularly aggressive unless provoked. In fact, most bulls in the wild would rather avoid confrontation than engage in a fight. This myth became popular because of the theatrical nature of bullfighting, where the bright red cloth naturally became a symbol of danger and power. 5. Chewing gum takes 7 years to digest. Last on the list, chewing gum takes 7 years to digest. This is another one of those myths that's often told to kids to keep them from chewing gum too much. The idea is that if you swallow a piece, it'll stay in your stomach for years, just hanging around because your body can't digest it. But this is completely untrue. When you swallow chewing gum, your body doesn't just let it sit in your stomach. While gum isn't digested like food, since it's made of non-digestible ingredients like synthetic rubber, your body still works to move it through your digestive system. It eventually passes through your system and comes out like anything else you swallow. It might take a little longer than typical food, but your body will still get rid of it in a matter of days, not years. The origin of this myth is unclear, but it might come from the misconception that the body can't break down the rubbery texture of gum. The truth is, while chewing gum isn't nutritious, it's perfectly safe to swallow once in a while, and definitely not something to worry about for 7 years. So, there you have it, 5 weird body myths that everyone believes. Surprised? These myths have been floating around for years, and most of them don't hold up under scientific scrutiny. The next time someone mentions one of these myths, you'll be armed with the facts to set the record straight. If you learned something new today, hit the like button. Share this video with your friends to bust these myths, and make sure to subscribe for more content that uncovers the truth behind common misconceptions. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.